Though the Indians lost in this rebellion and the Britishers had gained success, but still the Britishers had learnt various lessons from this rebellion. They had understood that they had to cooperate with the local people and they had to make them as their friends, and they also realized that if Indians became united for a united issue and stood against a common foe, then their rule would not last very long. That is why after 1857, there were certain laws which were passed. There were certain changes which came about in the British administration. The first was in 1858, the power of the Indian state was taken away from the private East India Company, and now India came directly under the British crown. That is, we were now actually directly under the British Empire and not under a private company. And the new Governor General, who would be called as Viceroy, would be the representative of the British Crown in India. And a post of Secretary of State of India was also started. That is, the Britishers now tried to have a mighty hold over the Indian soil directly. Second thing was, the Britishers realized that the ruling class had to be kept happy so that they would rule here happily. Therefore, they gave an assurance to the ruling class that now in future none of their territory would be annexed, and even their adopted sons, that is the policy of doctrine of lapse which had been started by Dalhousie, would be discontinued. And the British Crown gave an assurance to the ruling class that they shall be honoured, respected, and their authority shall be kept intact. The third was the army, from where they had posed and from where they had seen a big threat. So, they made a new policy according to which the Indian soldiers were reduced in proportion and the European soldiers were increased. Because if a rebellion took place, the Indian soldier naturally sided with the Indians. And they thought that the new recruitment would not be done from Bihar, would not be done from Central India, from South India, that is all those places who had actually rebelled, and they started a policy of recruiting the soldiers of the Gurkha Sikhs and the Pathans. Besides, the Britishers felt that it were the Muslims who were responsible for this rebellion, and they started with the policy of hostility towards the Muslims. In fact, it was a policy of divide and rule wherein they let down the Muslims and gave upliftment to the Indians or the Hindus, and after some times it was the vice versa. So, the policy of divide and rule had started, wherein they started giving lot of hostile feelings towards the Muslim community. They also promised the common Indians that their religious rights and customs shall be respected by the Britishers, and they'll try and not encroach in their rights. Besides, they also felt that the landlords had to be kept happy. So, they told them that they shall protect the interest of the landlords and see to it that they lead a satisfied and happy life. So, overall you see that the Britishers had learnt a lesson that they cannot turn the entire Indian community against them. They had to keep friends in India to see that they rule in India for years to come. And this was the new policy that they had started with in order to keep their rule intact in India. So that's the end of your chapter. Thank you.